The restaurant was alive with soft music, clinking glasses, and the low hum of laughter from well-dressed diners. Waiters glided from table to table, balancing trays of sizzling steaks and crystal wine. At a corner table sat a powerful figure, the CEO of a major company, known to many for his ruthless business strategies and cold demeanor. He sat with a few colleagues, sipping his drink, unaware of the storm that was about to erupt within those polished walls. But on the other side of the room, a single dad named Daniel was working silently, collecting plates, wiping down tables, and checking on customers with a tired but warm smile. His uniform was slightly worn, and his eyes carried the exhaustion of a man balancing two worlds, his duty at work and his responsibility at home to his little daughter, Lily. To most, he was just another waiter. No one in that restaurant knew that beneath his humble exterior, Daniel carried a past he rarely spoke about, a past filled with discipline, courage, and a set of skills he had sworn never to use again. Just as the CEO raised his glass for a toast, the doors burst open. 3 men stormed in, dressed in dark clothes, their faces twisted with rage and desperation. The entire restaurant froze as one of them pulled out a knife, another held a broken bottle, and the third shoved a waiter aside, demanding the CEO's attention. Fear rippled through the crowd. Some ducked under tables, others gasped in horror, and a few scrambled toward the exits. The CEO, though visibly shaken, tried to maintain composure, but the tremble in his hand betrayed his fear. The attackers shouted, accusing him of ruining lives, of destroying families with his business decisions, of taking everything from those who had nothing left. Their voices echoed through the restaurant, sharp and venomous, filling the air with dread. The CEO was cornered, and in that moment, every eye in the room turned toward the scene, everyone except Daniel. He didn't flinch, didn't freeze. His body stiffened, his instincts awakened, and something deep inside him, something he had buried long ago, came rushing back to life. Before I go further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of ordinary people to do extraordinary things, please don't forget to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with your friends, and subscribe to this channel. Your support helps us bring more stories that inspire hope and courage. Daniel's mind raced. He had left his old life behind when Lily was born, promising never to expose her to danger or violence. Yet here he was, staring at a situation where doing nothing could mean disaster, not just for the CEO, but for everyone in the room. He thought of Lily's smile, her little drawings she slipped into his pocket before work, and her words, "Daddy, you're my hero." That was all it took. He knew he couldn't stand by. Moving quietly at first, he observed the attackers. Their movements were sloppy, their threats fueled more by anger than control. He noted their positions, the way the one with the knife shifted his weight, the way the man with the bottle twitched nervously, and how the third one glanced constantly at the CEO as though seeking validation. Daniel had seen this type of chaos before, back in his days of training. He took a deep breath, and with calm precision, he stepped forward. The diners whispered in confusion, why was the waiter walking toward danger? The attackers barked at him to back off, but Daniel's eyes were steady, unyielding. In one swift move, he grabbed a chair and swung it against the arm of the man with the knife, forcing him to drop it. The clatter of the blade hitting the floor startled everyone. Before the others could react, Daniel pivoted, kicking the bottle-wielding man square in the wrist, disarming him in seconds. Gasps erupted as the single dad moved like a soldier, precise and controlled, as if every motion was choreographed. The third man lunged at him in fury, but Daniel sidestepped, hooked his arm, and slammed him against the table without hesitation. The restaurant was in awe, the chaos melting into stunned silence as the attackers lay subdued. With his chest heaving, Daniel stood between the CEO and danger, his posture radiating strength that no one had expected from the man who just moments ago had been clearing plates. The police arrived soon after, taking the 3 men away, but not before several diners had recorded the entire scene on their phones. The CEO, still shaken, stared at Daniel with wide eyes. For the first time in years, he was speechless. This man, whom he might never have noticed otherwise, had just saved his life without hesitation. Yet Daniel didn't wait for thanks. He simply adjusted his apron, picked up the plates scattered in the struggle, and returned to work as if nothing extraordinary had happened. But word spread quickly. The staff whispered about the hero waiter. Guests approached him with admiration. The CEO, however, could not shake the image of Daniel standing firm in the face of danger. Later that night, when the crowd had thinned and the restaurant grew quiet again, he approached Daniel privately. His voice was softer than usual, humbled in a way no one expected. He asked why Daniel had risked everything, why he would step into danger for someone like him. Daniel looked down, his eyes filled with a weight the CEO couldn't fully understand. He spoke of his daughter, of the promises he had made to her, and how he wanted her to grow up believing her father stood for something good, even when life wasn't fair. He confessed that he wasn't just a waiter. He had once been trained in combat during his time in the military, but had left it all behind to raise Lily alone after losing his wife. He wanted peace, not recognition. He wanted a simple life where his daughter felt safe and loved. The CEO was struck silent. For a man who measured success in power and wealth, this was the first time he saw true strength defined not by money, but by love and sacrifice. Something inside him shifted that night. The very next week, he called Daniel into his office. What happened in that restaurant had not only saved his life but had also saved something deeper, his perspective. He offered Daniel a position in his company, one that could give him stability, better pay, and a future for Lily. At first, Daniel hesitated. He didn't want charity, and he didn't want his past to overshadow his present. But the CEO assured him it wasn't charity, it was recognition, respect, and a chance for Daniel to use his discipline and leadership skills to inspire others. With time, Daniel accepted, and his life began to change. He could provide for Lily in ways he had only dreamed of before. More importantly, she got to see her father not only as her hero but as someone recognized by the world for the man he truly was. Months later, as Daniel tucked Lily into bed, she smiled at him with sleepy eyes and whispered, "Daddy, you really are a hero." His heart swelled, tears forming in his eyes, because he knew that everything he had endured, every sacrifice, every hidden skill, had led to this moment of pure, undeniable love. This story reminds us that heroes don't always wear uniforms or carry titles. Sometimes, they're the quiet ones, working unnoticed, carrying burdens no one sees, but rising when it matters most. Daniel was more than a single dad. He was living proof that true strength comes from love, sacrifice, and the courage to stand tall in the face of fear. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that courage and kindness can change lives in the most unexpected ways, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to this channel. Your support helps us continue to share stories that move souls and remind us of the goodness that still exists in the world.